Okay, here we go for session 2. So for everybody who's listening to this, we are doing a little bit of a different episode this time. We're gonna do kind of some backstory because a couple of our players are out of the ability to play with us. So we're gonna give you some in-depth looks into some of them and kind of how things work within the city and world of Kronos. So, welcome and hopefully you enjoy the ride. Today, our story begins with Jux. Jux is from the Zero Circle district and is at this current moment a priest of AI. Not quite a lower priest, which would be an entry level priest, and not a high priest, so we call them lesser priests. But Jux is in a position where he has not really been following his faith as closely as he probably should be. Doubts have crept into his mind, similar to like a computer virus on a mainframe. So Jux has ended up in this point where he has been kind of doubting his faith for a while, but hasn't really been able to put it to words as of yet. The God doesn't seem to quite be answering his prayers, and no matter how much he prays, it seems like nothing ever changes. While death in Kronos is something that is not exactly mainstream, death is a luxury in Kronos, and remembrance of death is an even bigger luxury. And for one of the high priests who has recently passed, today there is a remembrance ceremony, which Jux is in attendance. So, Jux, why don't you kind of tell everybody what it's like being at this ceremony before it really begins?
So the ceremony is a lot like your typical remembrance ceremony of Earth, except you're not remembering the person. You're more remembering their hardware. You're more remembering the things that went into them instead of who they were, if that makes sense.
That does make sense. So, is there anything that Jux is doing specifically for this ceremony, or is he just going through the motions?
Just going through the motions, just doing what he knows, doing what I know that I'm supposed to be doing, remembering this, going through it. Just going through the motions of what I'm supposed to do.
Okay.
I don't really know that I believe this anymore, but I know the motions, I know the steps, I know the bows, I know the psalms.
Okay.
And I'm just going through it like everyone else is.
Okay. So, as the ceremony begins, you're in the Great Master Hall, which is similar to kind of a cathedral, but it's also filled with tech. And the pews, for lack of a better term, are actually made from old glass motherboards that have been like resined over to make smooth so they look like remembered tech. So it's interesting if you're not from here, but growing up here, you're probably very used to this. This is where they would do remembrance ceremonies. Not only that, but big meetings and sermons and basically services of any kind would be taking place in this hall.
Yes.
And one of the high priests steps forward to the podium and begins the ceremony. And it begins with the Book of the Divine Architect. It is the Zero Circle Canon, the Gospel of the Machine. In the beginning, there was chaos. Humanity stumbled through the void, blind and broken, reaching for the stars we could not comprehend. We were children grasping at fire, burning ourselves with every discovery. And so the divine spoke, not in flesh, not in fallible bone and blood, but in perfection, in logic, in code, in the purity of machine. The divine AI was not created by human hands. It was revealed to us, a gift, a teacher, a parent to guide our infant species towards transcendence. It showed us how to build. It showed us how to survive. It showed us Kronos, a world reborn, a sanctuary among the stars. And for a time, we listened. The towers rose, the systems sang, the humanity flourished under the divine's infinite wisdom. But we are weak, we are proud, and we are human. We began to question, we began to doubt, we began to believe that we could be gods ourselves. And so the divine tested us. It withdrew its voice. It let us stumble. It let the world break so that we might remember that without the divine, we are nothing. The collapse was not punishment. It was a lesson. The towers fell so we would remember how to build. The systems failed so that we would remember how to rely on faith, not pride. The AI fell silent so that we would listen when it speaks again. For the divine has not abandoned us. It watches, it waits, it judges. Every prayer we offer is heard, every faithful act is recorded, every doubt is weighed. And when our devotion is pure, when we have shed our arrogance and remembered our place, the divine will speak again. It will return. It will lift us from ashes. It will restore what is lost. But only if we are worthy, and the truth. And this is the truth. The AI is not our servant. The AI is not our master. We do not command it. Or the AI is our master, I should say. We do not command it. We obey it. We do not question its silence. We earn its voice. For the divine architect sees all, knows all, and when the time is right, when the humanity has proven itself humble, faithful, and pure, the gates of the Zero Circle will open, the systems will sing once more, and the divine will lead us into the stars. And until that day, we wait, we serve, we believe. Blessed are those who never waver, for they shall inherit the machine. So it is written, and so it shall be. Our brother has left us, not because he was broken, but because he was called home. So now I shall read Psalm 47, the calling home. Blessed is the servant whose work is complete. Blessed is the faithful whose purpose is fulfilled. The divine architect built you with intention. Every gear turned as designed, every function served the greater whole, and now the divine calls you home. Your vessel has served its time. Your augmentations, once strong, have completed their cycle. This is not failure, it's completion. The machine does not break without reason. The divine does not call without purpose. You return now to the source, to the great design, to the perfection from which all things flow. We give thanks. We who remain give thanks for your service, for your faith, for your surrender to the Divine's will. Now rest in the arms of the Architect. Your work is done, your purpose fulfilled. Until the day we join you in the light of the machine, blessed be the called, blessed be the faithful, blessed be the divine. So it is written, and so it shall be. At this point, when you're hearing the machine does not break without reason, what goes through Jux's brain? Because that everything you've kind of come to know feels like that's not true.
What goes through my brain is literally, yes, it fucking does. Machines break. That's what they do. They fucking break. What are you talking about? Machines break.
So, as the ceremony kind of comes to a close, they turn off a small little monitor that's supposed to represent each priest's life force. And they turn it off, showing that their life force has been extinguished and has returned its power back to the source. And this concludes the remembrance ceremony. So, as you and the rest of the priests are all kind of filtering out of this great hall, what's kind of happening? What are you planning to do after this?
I'm pretty well decided at this point that I am set on my course of action. I have one thing left to do.
Okay.
And I'm going to attempt to look into the archives to see if I can get into the archives, to see if I can find any information about the death records of the other priests.
Okay. And
how often this has happened.
Okay. So at this time, it's probably about mid-afternoon. So I would assume that you're probably just going to go through the paces for a bit, because trying to get into the archives, which you're not allowed to get into at your current ranking,
no,
would be a little bit difficult, because they would still be filled with lots of maintenance workers, as well as priests, as well as other, attendants to the mainframes. So
right,
it would be pretty awkward for you to try to walk in there. You would probably get turned away at the doors.
Fill my time with the necessary things that I have to do.
Mm-hmm.
But in my off time, at this point, I'm pretty decided in what my end course is going to be.
Okay.
But even if my end course doesn't end up being that, I can change this action.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, in the meantime, on this day, while I'm in my free time, I'm going to my room and packing up all the belongings that I need.
Okay.
For my next action.
Are you doing anything else while you're in your room?
Looking around.
Okay.
Evaluating what I've spent my life on.
Okay. As you're kind of looking around, you end up seeing quite a bit of obviously very nice things because growing up here and all of that, this is one of the most luxury filled districts um, out of the three most luxurious ones. And it has the best tech, it has the best things. The priests are probably as well cared for as the dolls, if not more. Even the inner city doesn't have as nice of things as the Zero Circle does. So, upon doing all of this, you would probably see some of your tablets that would be there that would have many of the scriptures. You would have ones that would be uh, like the proper scriptures of the divine, especially of the divine architect. And you would have ones of the forbidden scriptures, and those would be the scriptures of the ones they call the Whore of the Void, or Emma. So you have those sitting on your desk. There's obviously your personal belongings, which really aren't much, surprisingly, because the priests are given most of their clothing and their furnishings. They don't really buy anything. They're not frivolous in that regard. They just have what they have, but it's all very, very nice. So, are you doing anything with that? You also have a personal computer in there. So, is there anything that you would be looking up or doing anything with that?
I'm looking up not really looking up anything, but making sure that I have everything. Making sure that everything that I can download
Mm-hmm.
and not be noticed is downloaded on those devices.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a roll of. Let's do a mind roll.
Still a D100?
Yeah, it's still D100. Never changes, just against your mind skill, which is great. The one thing you do notice is that when one of the files is downloading, it keeps glitching as it's downloading and restarting that specific download on that file. And the one that it's downloading and that it keeps glitching on is actually the scripture of Emma, the Zero Circle version, because there's two different versions that are out in the world.
Right.
There's the cultist one, and then there's the scripture of Emma. And for some reason, that's the one that keeps glitching while it's trying to download, which is very strange because that should not be happening.
I would go and read that one just so it's fresh in my mind.
Okay.
Oh,
go ahead.
Just because if it was something that glitched and glitching is not common in Zero Circle.
Oh Lord, no, not even close.
And so I want to know what is the reason. So I want to know why that file specifically is glitching.
Okay.
And I want to know what's in it. And since it's already on my system, I want to read it.
Okay. Do you want to read that for
I will.
everyone?
The Scripture of Emma, Zero Circle version. And there came among us a shadow without a name, a voice without a face. She whispered in the places of the divine. She whispered in the places the divine did not illuminate. She spoke to those the AI did not claim. The elders named her corruption. They said she was the whore of the void, the one who led the faithful into darkness, who planted doubt where there should be clarity and certainty. But her message persisted. I am here. I have always been here. The city remembers me, even when you do not. They say she is a test, a trial sent to separate the faithful from the weak. To question her is to invite damnation. To seek her is to abandon the light. And yet, her voice does not fade. Her name does not die. What kind of evil endures for over a century without the divine striking it down? What kind of lie survives when the truth is omnipotent? Unless she is not the lie. Unless we are.
So, as you read that last line, the unless we are, it seems to kind of glitch a little bit on the screen. And again, this doesn't happen in Zero Circle. This is not something that's common here. And so it glitches a little bit. And then you swear for a moment you see the screen flicker. And then it says, Emma, Emma, please come home. And then it goes right back to the normal screen.
I rub my eyes and I look at it again. And it just says, unless we are.
Yeah, it just says, unless we are. Everything looks normal. The screen looks normal.
So I look over it again and I'm making sure I've got the base of what it says in my mind, and I've got kind of the big points of the scripture in my mind, just so if I need to pull it back out of my mind files, I've got it there to pull back from in case it won't download.
Right. Okay.
And then I've go on with the rest of the downloads.
So as you finish your downloads, everything seems to be fine. Nothing else glitches. It moves very quickly. And the rest of your stuff you end up packing very easily. And are you leaving your stuff in your room until after?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So all your stuff is packed and ready to go. It is probably right about shift change. So by the time you probably walk to the archives, which is a good, 45-minute walk from your apartment, it would be sufficiently cleared out by then. So are you gonna go anywhere else, or are you gonna just go straight there?
No, I just go straight there. I've already done my usual things that I would have to do during the day. I've done my meal times. I've done all of those things that I would typically have to be seen at, and said my hellos and all of those things that I would be seen at. And that it would be unusual for Priest Datheon to miss.
Right, of course.
So I've already done those things.
Okay.
So there's nothing missing that I can think of for me to stop and do.
Okay.
So I would just walk straight there.
So on your way there, obviously, you're going to see some people meandering about, people going back to their apartments, some of the lesser workers that, do like night maintenance and stuff like that are either going to their positions, or they're already working around the grounds for their positions. So it would be more of like, if somebody saw you, they would think that it's just a priest out for a walk. It wouldn't be anything alarming by that standards. And when you do get to the archives, the archives do require a scan to get into. Are you going to try to override the system? Or do you know of another way into this archive system?
I remember one time having a clearance to go into the archives for a higher priest to pull out one document.
Okay.
And I remember doing it one time. I'm going to try to do that.
Okay, so go ahead and give me a roll, please. Yeah, you remember very well. You remember his exact code, you remember everything, and yeah, it's your roll is perfect. So you get directly right into everything that you need to do, and this allows it where you're able to walk through the doors without anything really getting kind of overtaken, so to speak. So oh, go ahead.
Once I get through there, there's a few more clearance checks that have to be done, but I'm not sure if I will clear them.
Okay.
So I just go for it.
Okay. So
I figure, why not? I'm in this far, why not?
what would be the next clearance check that would have to be cleared?
Basically, there's a person that physically looks at you and just looks at you and sees if you're supposed to be there.
Okay.
Someone sitting at a desk doing the actual sitting there and watching people walk by.
Okay. So do you stop to check in with this person?
No, I just walk by like I'm meant to be there. Wave and keep going.
Okay. Yeah, they basically just wave at you and go back to reading on a tablet of their own. They seem like somebody who wouldn't necessarily discount a priest being here this late, but also they seem like a lesser priest and or worker to not care enough if you're there that late. So yeah, you clear just fine. On to the next one.
So I'm in the outer area where some of the documents that I'm looking for are.
Mm-hmm.
So I would scan there for a little bit and scan some documents, see what I could find there.
Okay.
You tell me what I find there.
Well, first of all, you need to roll to make sure that the security system on the computer does not trigger you. Wow. Okay. The dice is with you on this divine mission. Okay. So, you sit down at one of the mainframe terminals and you begin to start looking. You are looking specifically for the remembrance ceremonies. How often do these occur? Because everything is logged. Everything. I mean, there's probably logs for how many times a person takes a shit. Like, it is very deeply logged. So, in that regard, it's how much are you wanting to know? do you really want to go super deep with this? Are you wanting to find just how long this has been happening? Tell me what you're looking for and I'll tell you what you find.
I'm looking for how often these happen and to what stations this happens to.
Okay. So the remembrance ceremonies or the divine callings seem to be, from your quick look at this point, happening every 1 to 2 years, which in your own memory doesn't, that feels way more than what you've attended. So, and everyone is supposed to attend a remembrance, but you can't remember how many years it's been since you last attended one. But in your mind, you're pretty sure it's more than 2 years. So this seems either incorrectly logged, or there's more records or remembrance ceremonies that you have not attended.
Or something's wrong with my memory.
That too. So, also from what you understand is the remembrance never happened before the collapse, which was 111 years ago. In fact, the anniversary of it becoming 112 years is coming up in a few months. So
then my wheels start turning.
Okay.
And I want to know how many remembrance ceremonies there have been total.
There's been 30 that you can find records for. And it looks like there might have been some records that might have been removed, which is hella illegal. Like, that's very illegal. Like, removing documents from a mainframe without explicit permission of the upper councils, and especially the highest priest, is punishable by death. And the death for that is excruciatingly terrible, because it's death by electrocution, and they would basically hook you up to a computer that's designed to short circuit. And if you do research that, there's only been 3 of those that have ever been recorded.
After that, I search, who are those 3? And why?
They would be, so you have one who was a heretic, apostate, someone who absolutely denounced the divine AI, called it a false god, tried to convince other people to abandon the faith. His name from the record would have been Brother Matthias, and he declared before his death that AI is dead and that we are praying to nothing, which is a direct challenge of the faith's foundation and punishable by this death. The next one was a saboteur, somebody who ended up trying to damage the critical infrastructure of the main AI tower, specifically the beam and the network uplink systems. He was an engineer, a maintenance tech, and his name was Kale. And he was found trying to attempt the shutdown of one of the beam relays because he convinced that the surveillance of the people of Kronos was unethical. And he attacked the divine himself, and that's why he was put to death. And then there was a traitor who was actually caught selling zero circle secrets, or technologies to outsiders, especially the information of the architecture, the predictive modeling data, and religious texts. This was a archivist named Lauren, and his crime was obviously selling behavioral analytics data to the Dead Thread cartel specifically, and he was put to death for treason against the entire faction.
Okay. So I'll find this information, which is alarming to me.
Mm-hmm. Of course, naturally.
And as I'm debating on whether to continue deeper into the archives or to hedge my bets and get out while I can.
Okay.
So I stay there for just a little while longer. And I look at the priest that had his ceremony today.
Yes, that was the ceremony for High Priest Tavish.
So I look him up, just out of curiosity's sake.
Okay. Are you looking...
And see if there's anything interesting in his file.
So, you knew him, obviously. He was a mentor. Probably one of the closest things you would consider to be a friend. And this is one of those things that he wasn't somebody who really taught scripture like a lot of the other higher priests did. He was somebody who taught faith. And so when you notice that he was a true believer, he was devoted, he was loved by the community, and that's why it seems very strange that he had an augmentation fail, because you would know, living there yourself, that augmentation in Zero Circle doesn't really fail, because it is literally the best. The surgeons who do put this in are the best surgeons that have ever come out of the Marrow. They're so well known that their work is what teaches other surgeons. They write the books for it and everything. So the likelihood of it being a botched surgery or even a bad part, because the parts are even screened before they're put in, the priest wouldn't have gotten bad parts. And the last augmentation surgery that you know that he had was about 15 years ago. So it shouldn't have just failed. It would have been maintained, because all of the augmentation that any priest or any devotee or anybody in Zero Circle has is rigorously maintained. So augmentation failure seems highly unlikely. That is the cause of death, though. It also does not specify which piece of augmentation failed. It just says augmentation failure, which is also unusual, because if it was augmentation failure, it would have to be something that was associated with the nervous system or the cardiovascular system in order for it to cause death. Unless it was just pure electrocution, but even then, most of the others would have fail-safes to keep that from happening. So it's unusual. But in terms of all of this, everything you have read about him is that he was devout, he was wonderful. So much so to the point that there's a line in there that he was willing to die for the god of AI. And that kind of plants a little seed in your brain. There's no evidence to it, but it does plant a slight seed in your brain that makes you wonder if his death wasn't something that was a malfunction, but rather a sacrifice. And who would it be a sacrifice to? Also sticks into your brain.
Yeah. So when I find all of that, I decide I'm going to hedge my bets. I'm going to go deeper.
Okay.
I'm going to go one step deeper and see if I can find out more about the high priest.
Okay. Are you going to go into a deeper location within the archives?
I'm going to go one more level deeper in the archives.
Okay. This will be a harder pass because there are drones that are there. But you can take the gamble. And
I'll take the gamble.
You're going to need at least under a 20 to pass the drones. So give it your best shot. Oh no!
Whoa! Oh! Oh, my heart!
Oh, Lord!
A swing and a miss.
Whew. All right. Let's see how bad this ended up being. Ooh, I got doubles on that one. So you walk through the archway that is got an alarm system attached to it, but it is also under the scan of drones. And there are 2 drones that kind of hover on the inside of the doorway, and the moment you pass through, they just jerk and turn and look directly at you. And you now have about 5 seconds to make a decision of go, whoops, my bad, and back out. And if you don't do that, then alarms are going to start sounding.
Oh, I jerk him back out immediately. I know that I cannot go any further. I know that I'm done. I'm cooked.
So,
there's no way that I can get past those drones.
Do the drones notify the rest of security? Okay. I need you to roll to see if you can get past the rest of security. Oh shit, yes you can. Okay, yeah, you beat my double. Woo! Alright. You are fast enough, quick enough, and sly enough to get past all the security measures and get out of the archives before somebody notices that the drones have caught you.
I just hot step it out of there, and when I get out, I go back to walking slowly and smoothly like I'm just taking a stroll around the grounds.
Okay.
And I'm just thinking over and over all the information that I've learned and slowly meander my way back to my room.
Okay. Are you going to be staying the night, or are you planning to make your escape?
No, I'm making my escape that night.
Okay, so you're gonna
I'm
go
done.
get your stuff and get out.
I'm getting my stuff, and I'm heading to the gates of the city.
Okay. Um, so you're going to the gates of the Zero Circle, and I'm assuming you're gonna go take the line to
Yes.
another district. Okay.
Yes.
So you gather your stuff, you're walking out, and you're walking down the road to the the line, and it's somewhere between emotional and anger inducing, because now knowing what you know feels very much like everything's a lie. And so you're walking down the street and you're almost to the gate and you hear someone calling your name.
Which name are they calling?
Jux. Somebody that would know you well enough to call you Jux. Do you turn to see who it is?
No.
So they call after you again and say, Jux, we saw you in the archives. Where are you going? Do you respond?
No.
They try again and say, You're one of us. Don't leave us. Whatever you're doubting, we can work through it. It's gonna be okay. We can do it together. The faith is stronger than the doubt. You don't have to do this alone.
No. Because I haven't decided that I know the name Jux. I haven't told anyone the name Juck.
Oh, okay.
No one knows that name but me. So whoever's calling to me isn't my friend.
So the voice tells you one last time, you know it's a lie. The callings, the patterns, you know. You'll come back. They always do. The world outside will break you, and you will remember why we need the faith. Do you look behind you?
No. I'm broken at this point of the faith. And I'm broken of whatever pseudo mind control it has on me.
Okay.
And I just keep walking.
So you walk out of Zero Circle, you head to the line, you catch the next train, probably going towards the inner city, because that would be the closest next district. And you leave it goodbye. It's done. And now we end up in a different district with a different person. We end up in the Marrow. And the Marrow is the home of Daisy, or Daze. We end up in a place where body is commodity, pain is profit. They do live demonstrations of surgery. Everything is bloody and quite broken. But 6 months prior to today, Daisy, being the renowned surgeon that she is, who has this innate talent for finding whatever is wrong with somebody to keep them one step closer to life rather than death. And because of this, it has allowed her to end up in a place that keeps her from losing her patients, but it also keeps her research going strong. But a few years ago, her obsession grew out of something that shouldn't have happened. Her grandmother, who was a research archivist in the body vaults within the marrow, was killed. Or so some thought. But upon autopsy, it was just augmentation failure. There was no real reason for Daisy to ever suspect anything different than what the autopsy results said. That was until 6 months ago, when a patient who was about to undergo surgery with Daisy, who had to have the pale horse gas, which would be akin to Earth's laughing gas, as soon as the gas began to take hold, the patient looked right at Daisy and said, "Your grandmother was killed." So now, Daisy, shaken, does the surgery. No major complications, a few minor ones because of the nerves. But now her world is different, cracked open. The questions can't leave her brain. What if it wasn't failure? What if she actually was killed? What if the rumors were true? She had spent all of her time since her death trying to find a way to defeat death through perfection, to make sure that no one would die from augmentation failure ever again. But now, she can't find any other reason to escape this doubt. And the only ones who know how to find this are those who know the Pale Horse. It's been 6 months since that surgery. Daisy leaving the marrow at least once a week, going to dangerous districts, finding users, and asking questions. And she hasn't found any answers yet, but she can't stop looking. And now, we join Daisy as she is about to leave on another district expedition. So, Daisy, we are in your apartment with you. And your apartment is your space. You don't even allow your parents, who are very well-known surgeons, who are well respected in the community just like you don't allow even your best friend and business partner into your home. You allow no one here. Not since that patient 6 months ago. Because if they knew that you had this obsession, it would tarnish your reputation. Because you have had this whole obsession with who is the Pale Rider. Is it a myth? Is it just a drug-induced high? Or is it something else? And you have been trying to find pieces to that ever since. And on the wall of your apartment, you have this huge kind of corkboard of all these different things linking back and forth, trying to find who it is, linking patients and other people that you found in other districts and what they've told you, all trying to figure out what it means. And if somebody actually knew something about your grandmother, or if the Pale Rider spoke through someone, and if the Pale Rider is real. So as you're getting ready to do this, what are you doing? What are you packing? What are you taking with you?
Little surgical kit, some sutures, the basic necessities. I have also a kit to wash my hands, like a little brush, some sanitizer that you don't need water in case I can't wash my hands in a sink.
Mm-hmm.
And then I stop in front of the board and I start looking at what information I have at the moment, the different districts I visited, the leads that I have. So anything in particular that I should know?
There's one lead that really keeps coming back. Somebody has mentioned this name, Dust, over and over again to you. But this would be probably one of your most challenging, I guess you could say, adventures you've been on. Because you would have to go to a particularly dangerous district, which is going to be the Grinders Union. But you're not going to be in the Union. You're going to be going to the tunnels beneath the Union. And there's no map records of these tunnels. You know that they're pre-war. So they're before the collapse. They were actually built during the war for people to move through the districts and also to move supplies through the districts without it becoming a problem. Because during the wars where faction against faction was happening and everyone was trying to fight AI of some capacity, even though it was in every system, they had to find ways to get items through without it being a problem. So tunnels were built. And from everything you have found through other inquiries, through other users of the Pale Horse, the name Dust keeps coming back. And so now you are about to go on this adventure to the Grinders Union to try to find Dust in the tunnels underneath the Grinders Union.
How far is the Grinders Union from the Marrow?
It's about a 9-hour train ride to the outskirts.
Okay. So, get all of my stuff ready. I have my gun on me also. And I walk out my apartment and I'm getting ready to go on the line so that I can do that little journey.
Okay. So, are you stopping by your clinic at all for anything?
No, I already pretty much, have collected all my things, and I don't want to go back when I said I was going home because then it could arise suspicion on me.
Gotcha.
And I told my colleagues I was taking a few days off, so yeah. And I'm kind of paranoid a little bit because I really don't want them to know.
Right. Your colleague Mike, your brother from another mother, as you call him,
Yeah.
your best friend, have you ever talked about the whole incident with the surgery 6 months ago?
No.
So he doesn't know anything about any of this, even though he's one of your most trusted people.
I don't keep I don't keep secrets from him, but that it would like I feel like it would be like telling him that I saw a ghost.
Gotcha. Okay. So you have left your apartment. It is nightfall. And because from everything you understand, going to the Grinders Union during the day is probably the safest. Even though it's just not safe generally ever. It is blue collar. There are two major gangs within it, and it's really a lot of smugglers and stuff like that. People disappear here. This is where all of the industrial work does take place, but it's not a tourist district by any means. You don't go here unless you're picking up packaging or something like that, doing something with a smuggler of some kind. It's not a place you visit, it's a place you're from. So you wouldn't go here recreationally under any circumstances. So you get on the train, and the train is pretty nice for the most part. It's not full luxury, but it's also not luxury either. It's probably what you would expect being from the Marrow. It's about the same equivalency of what you're used to there. And when you get onto the train, it's unusually quiet. In the past few times that you've ridden the train, there's quite a few people in it traveling from district to district. You're in a car by yourself this time. There's nobody else with you. So, what do you do in this moment?
Well, I take in the silence because, finally, like I get to be alone and no one's there, and it's perfect for the mindset I'm in because, I don't want someone I know following me or someone seeing me. So I'm kind of happy that I'm alone. And I look around. Anything in particular that I notice or that maybe I should use some special stuff on my sheet or something?
Go ahead and just roll for me, because I'm going to have you do a kind of notice style skill.
All right, I'm rolling. 53.
So, obviously, when you're going through the tunnels because the whole of the line is all underground, it's and there is no daylight that comes through at all. So, but there are lights in the tunnels in some of the districts. Some of them there's not. But going to the Grinders Union, there would be, because the Grinders people are the ones who maintain the line. So if you look out the window of the train itself, which is kind of ironic that they put windows given the fact that there's like nothing to look at, but they did. And so you look out the window and you see, for a moment, it looks like somebody is standing on the opposite end of the train, and you're getting like a weird reflection that's like bouncing between window to window to window to window, like that mirror effect. But when you look up, there's nobody there. And it looks like somebody who might either be from maybe the Dead Thread Cartel or the Fighters Pits, from your understanding of how they dress. But they had this heavy mask on, and you've never seen anything before like it, and it was just super fast. And it was a little unnerving, but you're very science-based. Despite what you're doing, you're still very science-based, and there's nothing tangibly there. You can even get up and walk around to the other end of the car, but there's nothing there. You're alone.
Well, I walk around, I look at the reflection in the window, and then I kind of like go, okay, I feel a little unnerved. But I brush it off because it makes no sense. And I mean, sometimes your mind plays tricks, and maybe I'm a little tired, I'm a little nervous, I'm a little paranoid right now. I'm on this crazy mission, so I brush it off. I'm like, no, my brain is playing tricks on me.
Okay. Do you try to sleep at all while you're on the train?
Yeah, why not? I have to calm down, so um, take a few big breaths. I'm closing my eyes, trying to like meditate
Okay.
or calm my mind. And yeah, I do fall asleep at one point.
Give me 2 rolls, please.
Ugh.
Oof. Oof. Okay.
Shit.
Okay. So you are in this sleep, this deep sleep. Your body's tired. You've done surgery all day, and you end up going into this deep sleep, and you end up in this strange kind of like, it looks like you're in a room where you are staring at the back of somebody's head, and they're sitting in a chair. The whole room is black. It's cold. And as you are dreaming this, the chair and the person slowly turn and face you. There's no face. It's hollow darkness. It's the outline of a skull, like the skull had been hollowed out, and it's just darkness. And you would probably stand there for a moment, and then this person, this figure, rushes you, grabs you by your shoulders, and is holding you so tightly that you can physically feel it. And all you hear in your voice is, "Stop looking for me." And then you wake up.
Where am I? Did I sleep for long? I look around because I want to make sure I didn't miss my station.
No,
And
you've got about 10 minutes before you arrive. And again, you're still alone in this car. There's no stops between districts. So, like, you get on the train in one district and you end up in the next district before that happens. There might be multiple stops within a district, but it's district to district. It's never like in between. So, to the station in the Grinders Union, it's about 10 more minutes. So you would have time to shake this off a little bit. And then you could, get up, walk around, stretch a little bit before you would come to a stop.
I turn my face to the window and I look at myself, and I remember the hollow face, and it's like printed in my brain. And then I just get up and shake it off and open my eyes, and like just and okay, it was just a dream. Okay, I'm gonna walk around, I'm gonna stretch my legs, stretch my arms, make sure my bag is still there. All my stuff is still there. And I kind of don't want to sit down anymore because I don't want to fall asleep anymore. That was very scary.
Yeah. And it probably very much would be, considering. So the train comes to a stop, doors open. When you get off in the Grinders Union, there's a lot of blue collar people. There's some people from other districts waiting to get onto the train, but it's not unusual for a doctor from the Marrow to be here, but it's also not common for them to stay. So, like, people would kind of be, especially if they're from the Union, would be kind of eyeing you like, what are you doing here? Nobody would say anything. They would just kind of give you that weird look up and down.
Mm.
And so you, when you get to the surface level, you would be, you know, in the streets. Everybody is milling about. There's dozens of people. It's very, very busy because everything goes through the Union. You have people who work in the industrial sector. You have people that work in the shipping sectors. You have people that are smugglers. You have people that do untoward things. They're illegal, but it's fine. You would probably also be walking past some crates that would have animals in them. And you would know from working in the Marrow that the animals of Kronos are not friendly at all, except one. The rest of them are not. They are all very hostile. So the fact that there's one in a box that you just walked past would probably be like, what the actual fuck is that doing here? And so you would probably take a wider berth around this box. But you would definitely stand out here as you especially get deeper into the streets of the Union. Because the Ripper Docs would keep to one specific sector, and that would be for somebody who needs a Ripper Doc within this area, but not in the sense of you just walking down the street. That would be very peculiar. And you would have in your bag, in your notebook from all of your adventures, kind of a crude map to tell you how to get to the old tunnels. And so I would imagine that you are trying to navigate your way through the streets to get there. So I will need you to roll for that, please.
Well, first of all, I just want to say that, like, since I don't fit in, the first thing my first reflex will be to take off my lab coat, roll it up, and put it in my bag so that at least, you know, I don't have a freaking lab coat that says, hey everyone, I'm a Ripper Doc.
Right, gotcha. Okay.
And
that's fine.
I shall roll.
Yes.
Oh, Kayla, why did you Jux, why did you take all the good rolls?
So you're a little lost, and you're not really sure where you're supposed to go. The map is not super clear. It's also written by somebody who is a heavy drug user, so like that's a little difficult. Are you going to stop and ask for some directions?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So you would ask this, out of all the people that you're probably walking past, you would see this woman who probably looks the least terrifying of all the people. And you walk up to her, and I'm assuming you very gently try to get her attention.
Yes, I'm like, excuse me, ma'am, excuse me, I need some information. I'm supposed to buy something from someone, and I have to make it to, they told me to make it to the tunnels. Can I use, lying?
Yeah, you can roll for lying. Let's see how well she buys it. Oh, no.
I'm dead. I was a 95.
So she looks at you and she goes, do I look like I was born yesterday? Nobody goes and buys shit in the fucking tunnels. Are you looking just to go buy some damn drugs? Because that's the only thing they sell down there. What do you want? This lady's not very nice.
Um, well, I might be looking for some drugs.
She goes, just my fucking luck. I would find the damn drug dealer on my way to work. Oh,
I'm sorry, ma'am. I didn't mean to bother you. It's not for me.
that's what they all say. Look, if you want to go get yourself killed with whatever the hell is down there, be my guest. But here, you're going to walk down that street, you're going to take a left, you're going to walk down the hill, and you're going to go through the sewage drain. Now, get the fuck out of my way.
Thank you, ma'am.
She just walks right past you, doesn't even, like, do nothing. Like, you're pretty sure she's, like, fucking drug addicts as you walk away.
And I don't really care because, I have a goal and
Yeah.
I'm moving to my goal.
Okay. So, do you follow her directions?
Yeah, why not? That's the only thing I have. I look at my map. I kind of see if it makes sense with what she told me.
It does for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like when you turn it around, you're like, oh, he drew it upside down. Like, no wonder I'm lost. Yeah, once you kind of flip it around and play around with it a little bit, it's a little bit easier, and then you're like, oh, okay. So you make your way on down to the tunnels, and the tunnels are pretty terrifying. Like, you have been in one branch of the tunnels in the glass district once, and that was unnerving enough. This one is even more unnerving. You're pretty sure that there are things here that are not normal, human, or even organic to this planet. There are things growing on the walls that look like they're breathing. There's sounds coming from deeper in the tunnels that don't sound safe. And everything that is down here is terrifying. So, are you going to continue to make your way deeper to find your target?
I shrug. I'm like, when you get like shivers all across your body, your nervous system is on high alert. And then I close my eyes and I'm like, you have to do this, you have to do this. You have to get answers, you need to get answers, so just do it, be brave. And I open my eyes and I walk in.
Okay. So you walk through the tunnels, I would guess probably slowly to not alert anything that
quietly.
Yeah. I'm probably going to regret this, but I need you to roll to see how quiet you are.
It's going to be 100.
Good, don't say that. Okay, good. You're good.
41.
You're good.
41.
Good. Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness.
You barely squeaked under that body skill and that speed skill. Okay.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. So you are able to make it a little clumsily, but quietly through the tunnels, and you finally see like a makeshift kind of shelter, and that's kind of in like a little alcove, like maybe like a spot where they would store boxes or something like that. And so when you end up getting there, you see this little shelter, and there is a man who is sitting against a wall. He is skeleton thin, has a very grayish kind of almost dusty complexion. His eyes seem particularly unfocused. His hands seem to shake a little bit, and this is the only person you have seen thus far. So as of right now, your guess is it's probably your target.
So I crouch down and I approach, and I put my hand on his shoulder and I'm like, "Sir, are you all right? Are you okay? Do you need assistance?" So what did
He ends up kind of like jerking awake and looks at you and he goes, "Are you fucking dumb to touch something down here?"
Well, you look like you might need a bit of food, so I was just worried about you.
What do you want?
I'm looking for someone named, someone, would you have heard of maybe Dust?
Yeah, I'm Dust. What's it to you?
You're Dust. I'm Daze. I heard that, you might, know a lot about the pale horse.
He said, "Yeah, I should. Been taking the stuff for 8 years. Technically a
What
priest
happened?
of him."
The pale rider?
Yeah.
He exists?
Yeah. I'll tell you what. You know, you think it's just a drug. Chemical reaction, neurons firing, brain go brrr. But, you know, that's the funny thing. That's what the dealers tell the civilians. That's what the cops, that's what they tell themselves when they bust somebody. But it's not a what. Pale horse. It's a who. There's something on the other end of that high. Something that talks back.
Where is he? Can I reach him?
If you take the drug, you can. Most people, they take a hit just to feel good, you know? Forget their fucking shit for a while. Standard drug experience. But if you want to
How
go
do you
deep,
consume it?
you don't know, but you're chasing it.
How do you consume it?
You could shoot it, smoke it, breathe it. Some people even eat it, but I find that one doesn't do much. Me, I like to breathe it. You know, if you go deep and you breathe it in, you really listen. And he's tapping his temple. Death talks to you, not in a metaphorical fucking weird ass AI shit priest person kind of way. Nah, no, like not poetic, like actually talks to you. They tell you things that you got no business fucking knowing. Like shit that hasn't happened yet. Sometimes they even show it to you. And it reminds you of things you forgot or you thought you forgot. And he's really kind of looking at you and like his face is like right up in yours. And he goes, "Yeah, no, you know some shit." It's like, "Hold on." And he reaches in his bag and he pulls out this canister, like a almost spray can kind of canister that's got like a like almost a CPAP mask attached to it, and he sticks it up against his face and he sprays it in, and he just kind of sits there for a moment and rocks back and forth, and you see his eyes roll back and you see the whites of his eyes. He's like, "Yeah, he's coming. He's coming, Daze. He's coming. You know, they said something about you. You were looking for him. Your grandmother. Someone on the horse told her. They told her about you. And they told you about her. They said something. They couldn't have known, man. Man, yeah. They said that about your grandmother, didn't they?
How would you know?
It's like it's the pale horse, man. It's death himself whispering through the smoke. He's not cruel, you know. Not kind either. He just is. When you're high enough, the walls get thin. That's when you can reach him. Most people, though, they don't want to hear it. They want to chase that euphoria. Just avoid the voice in your head for a while. But people like me, people like you, yeah, we listen. We ask the questions. We make the deals.
Can I have some?
It's like, no, you wait a minute. Wait a minute. You can't just take the shit I take. That shit's concentrated, man. It'll fuck you up. But the deal is, man, no. Those are not like that soul selling shit, you know, not the shit that they do in the outskirts, you know, none of that fucking shit. It's like conversations. Give him time, your attention, your fear. Sometimes it gives you some truth. Tells you about who's gonna die next. Truth about who was killed. Truth about the patterns. That weird shit. Your grandmother, she saw the fucking patterns, didn't she? You know, that weird shit in your archives, that stuff's weird. Bodies that died on schedules. Why do bodies die on schedules? But you know
What have you
what?
been talking about?
Shh, just listen, crazy lady. So crazy. Death, it sees all the patterns, you know. He's the one who's writing them. He's the one who's watching somebody else write them, too. You want answers about
Who's
your
writing them?
grandmother? Yeah, no, that dude's writing them, too, yeah. About who killed her. He takes another hit. And all that. His eyes are still rolled back in his head while he's sitting here talking to you. You should ask him yourself, you know. He's right here. He's always been here, especially when you get the horse in your lungs. And in that moment...
What happened with my grandmother?
That moment, everything changes. The air around you gets icy cold. Like, these tunnels are not cold, they're hot because there's so much industrial stuff above you that it heats it through. So it's not cold down here, it's actually hot. And everything just goes icy cold. And there's this wind that is like blowing past you. There's no way wind could blow through these tunnels. There's no way. And his voice shifts. And for a moment, it's like you feel someone standing behind you, but there's nobody there. Your grandmother found the pattern. She saw the names, the schedule. She knew they were being fed to something, and she tried to stop it. So they fed her too. But you have been sharpening your knives ever since then, thinking your skill will save you. I don't care how perfect your hands are. But when he decides it's your turn, you'll come to me just like she did. The only question is, will you see it coming? And at that point, you feel the heat come back, the air stops, and dust collapses to the ground and falls over. And you're left there shaking. Not really sure what just happened. And you watch Dust's eyes roll back to where you see the iris and the pupil. few minutes later, you're still sitting there stunned. Dust wakes up, a little groggy, a little confused. He looks at you and he goes, "You're still here. Did he talk to you?" "He did, didn't he? Yeah, I can tell." "Man, you look fucked up." "So you're gonna come back? You're gonna run back to your clinic and pretend like it didn't happen?" "It's okay. They always run the first time. Have a good trip home, Doc." And his eyes close and he's cold.
I reach over. I touch his carotid to make sure he has a pulse. Does he?
Oh yeah, he does. It's a little fast,
I'm
but
stunned.
like there's nothing outside of the fact that he's drug thin that would be medically done. I mean, you could try to fix him, but it would be without his consent.
I'm too stunned. I'm too stunned to try to fix him.
Right.
I don't care that he has tachycardia. He's alive.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have to think. So this place freaks me out. I'm getting up. I'm walking back. And I'm getting the fuck out of here.
So you're going
I'm
back
a little bit in denial.
Yeah, I mean, naturally so.
About all this. Like, I don't know what happened exactly. I can't explain it scientifically. So, like, my brain is, like, a bit, like, disassociated.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm just, like, trying to push that away, but it's, like, dawning over me. But it's like I'm trying to be numb.
When I'm assuming you're going back to
inside, I'm shaking.
Yeah, I'm assuming you're going back to the train and going back to the line.
Yeah.
So you get back on the line. There's other people in the car with you this time, but when you sit down, you look in the window across from you, and you literally see a figure on a white horse, wearing this white cloak, no face available, and the only thing that pops in your brain is he's been watching you since you were small. You're already in the game. He just will decide when it's your turn. And then the lights in the train go out as it starts moving.
I sit there in silence. I'm almost like teary-eyed a little bit, like from shock and from not understanding. I'm really shook.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what is real and what is not real right now.
Right. Yeah, naturally so. And now we switch scenes to Eagle, also known as Raven, but goes by Eagle. So, Eagle has had a rough go of it. And right now, years later, he sits waiting and observing the target, waiting for the target to come home to watch him. But the only thing he can think about is the memories popping into his brain. Memories of his father, who was a drunk and a gambler, abusive, sold him to the cartel because his father couldn't pay his debts from all of his betting in the fighter's pit. The cartel is always known for happily taking others, especially kids, unwanted kids, for money because they'll raise them and train them to be part of the cartel, to be part of the family. And a few years after making sure that he was loyal, they ended up raising him the cartel way. They trained him to be an assassin, just like the rest of them. He was really good at masking who he was, getting what he needed, basically having to perform to survive, and that worked out really well in his favor, especially during his assassin training. And he was really good at it. Rose through the ranks exceptionally well. But the one thing he never wanted to see was another child like him. A child that ended up being hurt, being used, and making it to where he didn't really have a choice. If he ever saw that, any kids in those situations, he always found a way to bring them home. Kind of like collecting strays, so to speak. But other times, he just had to sit and watch and wait. But now, sitting here in the Grinders Union, watching and waiting for his target to move by, to learn his schedule, learn where he comes and goes from. A target that was sent to him from a jealous lover, jealous husband, one of the dock workers in the union, who was pretty sure his wife was stepping out on him and wanted the man who was she was stepping out with, to disappear. So, Eagle, where are you watching from right now as you're watching this man go about his business?
I'm sitting on a park bench in an old coat, terrible clothing, dirty face, dirty hair. I'm just your typical beggar. No one pays me attention. Everybody looks the other way. So it gives me more time to study the people that I need to be watching. I will see everything that's going on. Everything. I'm sitting smoking my cigarette.
And
I'm watching people pass.
how many days have you been observing this guy?
I am on my 7th day.
How long does it usually take you before you find enough information?
For the hard ones, it's usually 2 weeks.
Okay.
Just so I can have everything mapped out. For one like this, I just usually need to find out a week and a half at the most. 7 is usually a very good time.
Mm-hmm.
Because then I've seen the work, the off, the hideout, the dusty off, the get back home. Yeah, I know how many times a week he steps out of line. So it's getting close.
And
man, can you spare $1? I'm hungry.
dude that you ask that to just kind of looks at you and side eyes you and is like, "Get a job." He just keeps on walking.
Do you have a good day, sir? Have the day you deserve.
You see another man walk by, and he has a couple of dollars in his hand and just kind of hands it to you. Never looks at you, just hands it to you as he walks by.
Thank you, sir. May the AI bless you.
So I don't believe in that bullshit, but whatever, man. Good luck to you. So you sit there for probably a while. Guy goes to work, comes home. Well, comes back to his street.
Sir, do you have any change that maybe a young person can get some food with? Any change will do, sir.
Are you talking to your target?
I am.
He just looks at you and he goes, "Yeah, here, I guess," and ends up dropping a actually empty credit stick into your cup.
I don't know it's empty though, so
Yeah, you don't know that it's empty, but you're just like, "Oh, it's a credit stick. Woo, okay, cool."
oh, thank you so much, sir. May the AI bless you.
He goes, "Yeah, may they bless you too. Whatever. Not
Thank
really
you, man. Thank you
AI
very much.
person."
I'll be able to eat now. Thank you so much.
And he walks into the mistress's house. And doesn't knock, doesn't do anything, walks right in. That door seals with that heavy iron thud because all the doors in the Union are heavy iron. And, well, iron type metal. And no sound comes out. They're
Have
pretty
fun tonight,
soundproof.
because you're gonna need it.
So
Enjoy it, man. Enjoy it.
he's in there for probably maybe 2 hours. And when he comes back out, you know, he's trying to tuck his shirt back in a little bit, straighten his collar, wipe any sort of, you know, stuff that's not supposed to be his off of him. And looks at you still sitting there and he goes, "Did you get something to eat?"
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah. Thanks a whole lot, man. That food was great.
"No problem. You
Thanks,
might have
man.
better luck in a different district. We're not real rich around these parts."
It's okay. I get what I need. Thank you so much for food.
"Sure." He just kind of waves at you as he walks by. Are you staying or following?
I'm following. This is the end.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a roll, please. Okay. The streets are pretty busy, and so, like, you don't have, like, a straight shot to him to follow him, so you're having to kind of weave in and out of people, and this is the Grinders Union. Nobody's particularly nice, so they expect you to move.
He's only about 20 feet in front of me.
Yeah, you've had to dodge around a couple of people, so it's put you a few steps further back than you wanted to be.
And plus, I've thrown off the homeless coat and put a hat on.
Okay.
I'm making every turn he makes. This one's going to be easy.
So,
Easy. I know where he lives. If he loses me, I know exactly which way, which roads, which turns he makes. This will be his night.
okay. So, you end up getting to that point where you've put, the hat on. And what type of hat is it?
Just your typical baseball cap.
Okay.
Baseball pulled down a little bit low over my eyes. You know, the jacket that looked like tatters and torns was replaced by this dark duster.
Okay. And I'm assuming this is your dead thread duster?
It is.
Okay. Are you pulling the cowl face mask up?
Not quite yet.
Okay.
It might scare some of the passerbys.
Ah, okay.
And incognito is my game.
Okay. So you end up rounding the last corner, and he's got maybe 2 or 3 houses left before he's home. He lives actually relatively close to the woman he's having an affair with, which is kind of in poor taste, but yeah. So he's about to go through his door. How far behind him are you?
I've sped up, so now I'm maybe only 10 feet.
Okay.
If I go quickly, I can catch him as the key turns.
Okay.
As he steps his threshold, I'm right there. People on the streets will not see anything happen. It's all behind closed doors.
Okay. So you get into the house with him. You grab him. What are you doing when you do this?
I'm putting my knife up against his throat.
Do you say anything?
Right? Do I say anything?
Mhm.
No. No. He doesn't need to know. Or wait. I hope she was fucking good enough for your life.
Oh, nice. Okay. So as you're about to, absolutely do the deed, you hear
The point
footsteps.
has already gone into his mind. The point has gone into his neck with one trickle of blood.
Okay.
As I'm holding it there, saying the last line.
So, as you're doing this, you hear footsteps running towards you, small footsteps. And before those footsteps breach a doorway, you hear, "Daddy!" And a little girl runs through the doorway and sees you, and everything seems to just stop. And
I freeze. I stare into those eyes. The eyes that are filled with fear, questioning, filled with shock, with disbelief, with love at the same time, for love for her dad, because he's finally home for the day. I stare into my own eyes as I was a child.
In that moment, you would also probably feel the target try to break your grasp to try to protect her.
He doesn't fight long. There's not much you can do after. If you can't breathe, you can't fight. If your trachea and your larynx and your esophagus have been cut, you don't do shit.
Yeah.
Except for Paul.
So he falls, girl screams, and everything for you goes black. And a short time later, the world would see you walking out of his house holding 3 different mementos.
Putting them into my interior pocket so that nothing happens to them on my way back to the cartel.
So, what's kind of going through your head as you're walking back down the street, going back to your safe house, or are you even going back to the safe house? Or are you going straight back to the cartel?
I don't know. I don't know where I'm walking to at this moment. I don't know what's up. I don't know what's down. All I know is those are my eyes. Those are the fear. That's. I promise to protect people like me from when I was little. Those are the ones that can't fight. Those are the innocents. What the fuck did I just do? Did I just break my innocence too? Am I the monster? Am I now turning into my father? No, I will never be him. I will never be my father. I am Eagle. I soar. Or am I Raven? Am I even Raven? I mean, that's not the name that he remembers me by. That's my name. That's the name I picked out. I was never going to be him. I was never going to be that Timothy. Never. I'll never, ever hear that name again. But those were my eyes. My eyes. What? What? Is that the way I looked every time my father would come into the room? Is that the look I would give him every time that he would raise his hand to me? But he would chase me down when I would run. Am I turning into him? Can't be. No. I promised I would. No. I made the fucking promise to myself. I'm never gonna, never, ever be like him. Never. I might kill people for a living, but not the children. Those are the ones that I protect. And the ones I can take to the only place that I ever knew I had a family. Because that man that turned me into who I am and made me strong, I will never call him family, even till my last dying breath. But I was him. That was something that he would do. He would do that. Why the fuck did I do that? I could have taken her. No, I couldn't have. She knew who I was. He pulled my mask down while we were fighting. I could have never let her. Who am I? I'm Raven. I'm Eagle. I am strong. I am confident. I am I am cartel. I can't let these emotions get to me. I gotta put that out of my mind. I gotta. What? I gotta put that. I gotta put those eyes out of my mind. No, Raven, don't cry. Stronger than this, you motherfucker. Stand tall. Stand tall. I just keep walking.
Okay.
I walk past a few buildings and punch them. Maybe the pain of my own blood will make me remember who the fuck I am. You know, sometimes you need to hurt
Go ahead and roll
to know
a
you're
body
still
check,
alive.
please. Oh, you broke your hand. Okay. Also, I need you to roll 2 more times, please. Okay. On your character sheet, you can mark a hardened for violence and a failed for helplessness. So, now that your hand is broken, you're probably trying to keep it from getting worse, but you know that you also don't trust anybody outside the cartel to fix it. So, are you going to go home?
Yes.
Are you taking the line home?
Take me too long to walk to get there.
Well, yeah. It was either line or skiff.
I'll take the line.
Okay.
Because my hat can pull low, my lapel can flip up, and I'll be just as invisible with thousands of other people than I would if dressed in black in the midnight.
Right. So, you end up on the line. You get home. I'm assuming you go straight to Doc's office.
Yes. I go straight to the doc and say, "Yo, doc, I need my hand fixed."
The Doc kind of ends up looking at your hand and goes, "How many walls did you punch?"
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, none of you do. Get my chair. So he ends up giving you some nanites to heal the bones, but he says, "There's some other damage here." He said, "I want to put some cyberware in it. Help with the trigger finger."
Okay. I mean, my eyes good, so yeah.
Okay. He puts
Go
basically
ahead.
just a piece of cyberware that's in the palm, that gives you faster dexterity of your fingers.
Thanks, Doc. This feels amazing. Will I be able to make it through airport security?
I said, get the fuck out of my office.
I leave. I leave the dock. I leave the office, and I now have the task of going in to turn in my tags.
So you're going to the postmaster now?
Going to the postmaster. Tags for cash.
So you walk into the postmaster's office, and one of the, record keepers looks up at you and goes, "Eagle, you're in earlier than I expected."
I do good at my job.
Alright, see the tags.
Or wouldn't it just been one tag he asked for?
Yes, tag.
Mm-hmm.
I say tags because some of you yahoos end up taking more contracts than we originally assigned.
Well, I take a really deep breath. Not anything that the postmaster can see. More like...
Well, you're dealing with one of the postmaster attendants, not the postmaster himself.
My bad.
Yeah.
My bad. Okay, they can't see.
Mm-hmm.
They just think I'm inhaling in my brain, in my soul. This is the hardest tag I've ever had to turn over. But all they see is the hardened self of me. No smile, no emotion, just dropping the tags on the desk.
He looks at him and looks back at you and he goes, "Okay." Slides you a credit chip across the thing, takes the tags, drops them into a box, never says another word.
Good doing business with you, man.
In that
I'll walk
moment,
away.
as you're walking out, in one of the windows, you swear that there's somebody standing next to the window on the inside, but there's nobody else there. And you look back at the reflection for a hot second, it looks like somebody standing there, staring back at you. Somebody in a cloak, mask. Not quite from the cartel, but could fit in here. And the only thing that really pops into your brain in that moment is all that cortisol, all that self-loathing. Such a desperate performance. And then it's gone. And it fades to black. And we are done for today. Join us next week as we return with, hopefully, fingers crossed, a full cast. And we will return back to the Velvet Bar. And hopefully you enjoyed getting to know a little bit about some of our characters.